All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something a lot of folks in tech are feeling, this sense that the profession has kind of lost its way. But the good news is we're also talking about how to get back to what it's all about, building things that actually matter.
So, what's really going on here? Well, it boils down to this one huge misunderstanding that's taken over the tech world. It's about a simple question. Are you a builder, a company where tech is the product, or are you a buyer, where tech is just a tool to get something else done? Getting that one thing wrong? Well, that's the start of all the problems. And this number right here, 2.8%. This is the cold, hard reality check. This is what it all comes down to. It's the average inflation-adjusted return that companies in the real economy, the world outside of the tech giants, are actually making. This isn't some abstract idea. It's simple arithmetic, and it's the source of so much pressure on businesses and on the tech professionals working inside them. Okay, so before we can talk about the cure, we have to really diagnose the disease, right? We've got to understand how the whole system got so, rigged against the very people trying to make it work. And it all goes back to that first point, that confusion over what kind of company you're even working for. So you've got these two camps. On one side, you have the builders, think Apple, Amazon. Their actual product is technology. But then you have the buyers, and that's like 80% of the entire economy. They just use tech. And here's the core problem. The buyers are being told over and over that they need to act like builders. And folks, that is an absolute recipe for disaster.
And look at this chart. It just lays it all out, crystal clear. You've got the tech sector's returns absolutely soaring, driving something like 63% of the S&P 500's gains. And then you have everyone else, the real economy, the buyers. They're stuck fighting tooth and nail over that razor-thin 2.8% margin. This isn't just a gap, it's a canyon. And that's where the real story is happening. And this leads to what the source material calls the great extraction. It's a powerful term. That tiny 2.8% profit margin from the real economy, it's literally being pumped into the tech sector's cash machine. The real economy is funding the R&D of the tech giants with its own survival capital. It's this massive, unsustainable transfer of wealth from the many to the few. If you want a perfect, almost painful example of this, look no further than GE Digital. This is the ultimate cautionary tale. You have an absolute icon of the real economy that tried to spend its way into becoming a tech giant. They just ignored their own business reality, burned through billions, and it ended up being a key part of why the company was dismantled. It's such a stark warning for every single one of those 2.8% businesses out there. And you can see the result of all this pressure in the tragic identity shift of the profession itself. Back in the 90s, tech professionals were the unlockers. They were the architects engineering real growth and value. Now, in the 2020s, they become Siphons, administrators whose main job is just to manage the transfer of capital to vendors. The role has flipped from a growth engine to just another tax on survival. So let's shift gears a bit and look at how this broken system actually feels on the ground in the day-to-day lives of tech professionals. It creates this culture of just trying to survive. And it has these symptoms that I bet many of you watching are going to recognize immediately. You know all that crazy, complicated tech jargon we hear all the time? Well, here's a key insight. That jargon isn't the actual disease. It's a symptom. It's a defensive shield that good, smart professionals have built to survive in a system that measures busy work instead of real outcomes. And this is so important. This isn't about blaming people. It's about a broken system. I'm talking about terms like digital transformation or agentic workflows. They create this kind of professional fog of war. It's a language of survival, not value creation. It's designed to insulate people, to let teams show velocity and hit sprint metrics, which proves they're busy, even when the actual business intent, the why, is completely missing. And all of this leads to what the source calls the Sisyphus effect. You know the myth, right? Pushing the boulder up the hill forever. It's the perfect metaphor for the burnout that comes from this deep sense of futility. You're pushing this massive digital transformation boulder up a hill only to realize the hill is basically made of vendor stock prices, and nothing you're doing is actually going to impact your company's 2.8% reality. And let's be clear, this isn't just feeling tired. The source calls it a moral injury. And that hits home. It's that soul-crushing realization that you are spending your one career, your skills, managing this fog, instead of actually engineering the future you know you're capable of building. And maybe the most tragic part of all this, it's what we're handing off to the next generation. A whole new wave of highly skilled builders are coming in, and they're inheriting this scorched earth of technical debt and a system that basically wants to replace them. They have the skills. They want to build. But we're teaching them how to survive, not how to engineer. Okay, so the diagnosis sounds pretty bleak, I know. But this is where the whole thing pivots. This is the optimistic part. The cure isn't about burning everything down or dismantling the profession. Not at all. It's actually surprisingly simple. It's about reorienting, getting back to the original purpose of building real, tangible value. And here it is, the cure. It's called the builder's hierarchy. It's a simple 3-step pyramid, and the order is everything. Number 1, at the top, business intent. Start with the real problem in that 2.8% world. 2, process engineering. Solve the workflow with logic and people first. And then, and only then, number 3, technology. You apply the tool as a commodity to make the process happen. In that order. Every single time. No exceptions. Think of it this way. If you can't state exactly how a project is going to improve a real-world metric, how it protects or grows that 2.8%, then you don't actually have a business intent. You just have a spend. It's a simple but incredibly powerful filter. And this is absolutely crucial. Technology cannot fix a broken human workflow. It just can't. It's the enabler, it's not the strategy. You solve the human process first, with logic, with smart people, and then you apply technology as the stable, cost-effective tool it's meant to be. And you know what the best part of this whole idea is? You don't need a massive revolution to make this happen. You don't need permission from the CEO. The path forward actually begins with small, quiet acts of engineering, things anyone can start doing. So let's get practical. Here is the Monday morning action plan. A few concrete things you can do to start reclaiming your identity as a builder and begin chipping away at that fog. First up, the 2.8% filter. It's simple. In your very next meeting, when someone is proposing a big new tech project, just ask the quiet question, how does this help us protect our 2.8% real margin? It's a simple question, but it's powerful. It forces everyone in the room to connect the spend directly to the survival of the business. Next, the beta test pause. Look, you don't have to be the first one to try every new, unproven feature a vendor rolls out. Be a fast follower instead. Let somebody else, maybe your competitor, pay the innovation tax that comes with finding all the bugs in a new product. Protect your own capital. It's just smart business. And finally, and this might be the most important one of all, the mentorship shift. Think about the talented 25-year-olds on your team. It's our job to give them the tools to be builders again. We need to show them the 2.8% reality and teach them how to engineer a process, not just how to manage a vendor ticket.
Because in the end, this isn't about destroying the profession. It's about its redemption. You know the vibe that everyone feels is missing? It comes back the same way it left, gradually, one small engineering decision at a time. So let's stop teaching the next generation how to just survive the fog. Let's start teaching them how to engineer their way right through it.